Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. Got a pretty weird project going on today. My last video, we ended off with part one of the competition chopper. I've since put that on hold due to the coronavirus shutting the country down. All events are canceled, so blade sports events are not going on right now. Who knows when, so we'll finish that up another time. Today, I'm working on like I said, a very different project from what I normally do. I'm a knife maker. That's all I do is I'm a knife maker. I'm a decent knife maker. I'm a terrible blacksmith. So we're going to try and do the best we can with this project. This has nothing to do with knives. This is all blacksmithing. So fingers crossed. Let's see what we can do. What I'm working on is my cabinet doorknob things. You know, little pulls go in your cabinet doors. I want to make those because why buy them when you can make them for 4 times as much and 10 times the time? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some Damascus doorknob pulls. So you all know the drill. Let's get the forge heated up and let's make some steel. Stay tuned. First welt's done. We started off with 30 layers, and then what I did, it was square. I re-squared it on the 45. So that's kind of hard to explain how I did that. So like, let's say this was a surface and this was a surface. I hit this corner and this corner and re-squared it that way. Now what that did, that gave us our crushed W's, which is what is going to make this explosion pattern. So now I've already got the bottom side milled off and got about 10 more thous to take off here. And then we'll work on the sides, put it back together, and go on for weld number 2. Weld number 2 is done. Got our billet nice and square. I'm going to go ahead and face it off on all 4 sides and make sure that it's just perfect. And then we'll go in for one last and final weld. Let's do some milling. So, got the billet ready to be tacked up. I'm sure you can't see it because I just barely can, but each one of these blocks here, there's 4 of them. They each have what's called a crushed W pattern, I believe, and they're all pointing towards the center on all 4 of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to forge this down, compress it, and when it's done, it'll look like an explosion coming from the center outward. That's the whole idea behind this. I've tried it once before and it welded great, but it didn't come out just right. I think this is going to be perfect. So let's get this tacked up, get a handle on it, and throw her in the forge. So here's this little rod. About 25, 30 inches long, something like that. 1/2 inch thick. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the coal forge, and I'm gonna start rounding it by hand. I think I can do a little bit better job rounding it off by hand and instead of risk messing it up with this brute. So let's see what we can't get done here. Alright, so basically, I'm an idiot. I've done all that work last night, beating that down by hand. And I've got this massive sledge block here. And I just happen to have this, perfect little 1/2 inch round for forging, 1/2 inch round stock. So, yeah, let's use that sledge block from now on. Alright, so next step is we got to make a tool. I don't know the proper name for this type tool, but it's going to be similar to like what you would use for like making nails. So basically, I'm going to drill a pilot hole, and then I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole right through that. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to go down 3/4 of an inch. And so what I'll do is I'll put my rod down in there, and then we'll hit the head down, and that'll round it out. So that's what the plan is. We'll see if it's going to work. So let's do a little milling and drilling real quick. All right, there we go. We got a hole and a hole and a square. Went down 3/4. So like I said, our shaft is going to drive down inside there, and then I'm going to mushroom the head over, upset it in other words. And it should work. We're going to try it. Alright, so got all the knobs made, got them drilled. Now we have the wonderful painstaking task of tapping these by hand because my lathe is not working at this moment. So let's see if we can't tap some holes. I've already etched them. and that's really hard to see, but I will definitely take some pictures where that'll show really, really well. I edged them yesterday and left them in the coffee overnight. So right now I'm just cleaning them up on the polishing wheel, and then we will go and install them.